Yep. Oh, that's all right. So my name's Lindsay Kett. Thank you for having us again this year. This is our favorite day. For me, it's one of my favorite days of the year. This along with Scholarship Night, because it really brings the community together. The students and community members who may not even have children in the building, but you're part of Mashpee and you're part of the fabric, which makes this community great. We have 10 outstanding students here today. They're representative of all different disciplines within the building, as well as athletics. Some of the names you're going to hear you've been reading in the paper, because guess what happened this weekend? So that is exciting for us. Talk about school spirit just bubbling throughout the building, as well as all the other activities we have going on. And now we're rolling right into winter sports and the spring play and so much going on. At this time, what I'm going to do is turn it over to the students, let them introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about who they are, how long they've been in Mashpee, what activities they're involved in, potentially anticipated majors. Some of them have already committed to future plans for college, and others are still waiting on decisions to make their final decision. But everyone up here applied early action, so they all applied before November 1st, which we love. So that's a great thing. Is this all set for the students? Okay, great. Thank you very much for having us. And here we go.
My name is Jake Johnston. I'm a senior here at Mashpee High School. I've been here at Mashpee my entire life. I'm a member of the football team, also a member of the National Technical Honor Society. I'm the president of that. My future plans are to go into engineering. I've applied to WPI, RPI, a couple Mass Maritime, UMass Amherst, UMass Dartmouth, and I'm doing it all for engineering, civil engineering. So yeah, that's my future plans. I'm stronger in the math and sciences, not as strong in English, but engineering is definitely something I want to do. My dad always told me that I was going to be strong in engineering, math and sciences, and because I'm good at problem solving. So engineering is something that I want to do for the future.
Hi, my name is Brooke. I play 3 sports: basketball, soccer, and lacrosse. Of those 3, soccer is my favorite, and I coach during the fall at the youth fields. That's something I really enjoy doing, is because I can connect with the younger kids in the community, and these kids are going to be on the future Mashpee High School varsity team. So I always love that involvement in the community. But in school, I am vice president of the class. I am also president of the National Honor Society. And actually, one of the things that I picked up recently is the Falconer, which is our online school newspaper. So I write for that. Recently, there's a story about one of my peers, Ben. So if you want to check it out, www.thefalconer.net, if you ever want to look it up. My
Say it slower again, please, for the old folks' ears.
www.thefalconer.net.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's a great way. We're always looking for more viewers on that. But my future plans is to attend a 4-year university. I'm not really sure which one yet. One of my hobbies is writing, and that's certainly coming in handy with all the supplemental essay questions I have to write for college. So I want to go into environmental sciences. I eventually want to become a lawyer, so that's what I plan to study.
Hi, my name is Brianna Cheathum. I've always gone to Mashpee, so I'm a senior this year, so I applied to 10 schools, but I don't want to bore you up by saying all of them. So my top 4 are UConn, University of Connecticut, Villanova, University of Rhode Island, and Boston College. And I want to pursue nursing next year. But in the school, I'm the secretary of the class, I'm the vice president of Key Club, I'm in National Honor Society, and then outside of school, I participate in the Riverview School Dance Heroes, which is a program, it's an adaptive dance program. So I go there on Thursdays and I teach them like choreography for performances. So it's a lot of fun. I'm actually doing my senior project on that too. And then outside of school, I'm involved in the Mashpee Wampanoag Tribe Youth Council with Shyla, so she'll talk about that a little bit more. So I'm the secretary of that as well, which is a lot of fun. And we do a lot of programs for the tribal community. And we're also hosting a Taste of Mashpee event, which is coming up in January. So we'll have flyers for that out soon in the community, so if any of you want to attend. But it's a lot of fun, and thank you for having me today.
Hi, my name is Shyla Hendricks. I am a senior at Mashpee High School. I have always lived in Mashpee. As for my future career, I want to pursue a career in nursing. I would specifically like to become a trauma nurse. That field has always interested me. Just the thrill and excitement of the trauma field. I am, like Brianna said, I'm the chairwoman of the Mashpee Wampanoag Youth Council. So there, I like to connect the tribal community with the Mashpee community. So if you have any questions or comments, you can just come to me. We are hosting a Taste of Mashpee event. So with the Tribal Youth Council, I like to keep just the youth involved with something to do. It's really fun to I really love leadership there, and just fun to keep my tribal heritage within me. At Mashpee, I am a member of the National Honor Society. I also play 3 sports a year: field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse. I am a captain of basketball currently, and I was captain of field hockey. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Meghan Howard. I moved to Mashpee when I was in kindergarten, so I basically just grew up in Mashpee. I'm the treasurer of my class, and I'm also involved in HOSA, which is Health Occupational Students of America. I'm the vice president, and what we do is we kind of do community outreach, and we kind of teach our members about the different health occupations within the field, so what their options are. And that's kind of helped me learn to discover what I want to do with my life, which I actually want to go into engineering, which isn't necessarily a health field, but I'm planning on going into biomedical engineering. So I think that's really exciting, and I'm really excited to do that. I would also list off all the schools I applied to, but again, I don't really want to bore you. Also in school, I am involved with the Mashpee High School Jazz Band, so I play tenor sax, and I don't know if you've ever seen any of us perform, but we're actually performing tonight at the Program of Studies night at the high school, so if anybody's interested, feel free to come. I have a lot of fun with that. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Barrows. I've also lived in Mashpee for most of my life. I think I moved here when I was like 1, so I haven't really known anywhere else. I've applied to, I think, 7 schools, and so far I've been accepted into 3, which is really exciting. So I'm definitely going to college. I've applied into criminal justice majors, but if that doesn't work out, I plan on being a double anthropology and sociology major because I'm really interested in like history and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of great history programs and Mashpee electives that I've got to go to, so it really helped me decide like I am interested in history. I'm the president of HOSA, like Meghan just said, so Health Occupational Students of America. I'm a member of the National Honor Society, the National Art Honor Society, and I'm the social media manager for the GSA. So I run like the Twitter and the Instagram, if you want to follow us. They're both at Mashpee GSA. And the Mashpee HOSA is also at Mashpee HOSA. So if you want to follow us in any of those. And my senior project is also part of working with the GSA and kind of just like doing some like outreach and working to kind of bring like awareness to like the different genders and like sexualities that people like have, because I think a lot of kids don't know about it and they might feel kind of like self-conscious about themselves or something like that. And I just want to make sure like everyone feels like warm and welcome in Mashpee because it is really a welcoming place. So.
I'm also a senior at Mashpee High School. I've lived in Mashpee since I was in first grade. I moved here from Germany. So I'm planning on becoming an actress. I'm applying to primarily musical theater conservatories in New York and Boston. Like I said, like everyone has said, I won't tell you all of them, but some of my favorites are New York University, Juilliard, Boston Conservatory, and Manhattan School of Music. In school, I'm the president of our Triam Music Honor Society. I play alto saxophone in our jazz band with Meghan. We're in the saxophone section. We'll both be there tonight at Program of Studies night. I'm the president of our GSA, or Gay Straight Alliance. So Rachel and I do a bunch of stuff together there. I'm also a member of our National Honor Society. I also do ballet, hip hop, and lyrical at Harper Dance Center in Mashpee. So I'm always on a stage somewhere. Today and yesterday we just had auditions for our spring musical, which is The Little Mermaid this year. That'll be March 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the high school. I'm choreographing the musical, and hopefully I'll also be in it. We'll find out the cast list on Friday, so I can't tell you what part I am yet. But I've had a lot of great opportunities at Mashpee, and I'm really so glad to be part of this community that you all support. It's been really, really great to be here, and I know I'll be sad to go. So thank you all for having us.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Josh Vinitsky. I'm a senior at Mashpee High School, like everybody else here. I've been going to Mashpee since kindergarten. I moved from Falmouth when I was young. At Mashpee, I am with the robotics team. Last year was our first year. So we actually made it to regional finals in New England for our competition, which was very exciting. I'm also part of the varsity hockey team for 4 years. I'm a captain this year. So that's really exciting. We're looking like we're going to have a very good year this year. I am the treasurer of the National Honor Society, and I also play lacrosse, in the springtime.
My name is Ben Bonenberger. I've lived in Mashpee my whole life. Next year, I plan to attend Colgate University. I committed there for football earlier this year, so I'm excited about that. I'm a member of the National Technical Honor Society, so we're always involved in the community we use software to engineer, design things. We have 3D printers, and you guys, I know, are very supportive of our technical programs, so we appreciate that. I'm captain of the football team, you didn't know, because I committed to play football. We're excited about that. Always outside, avid fisherman, hunt a lot. Just excited about everything this community's done for me, so that's about it.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to pursue environmental engineering at Colgate. So that's the plan.
How are you guys doing today? Great. My name is Michael Barrows. I'm a senior here at Mashpee High School. As well as Ben and Jake, I'm a member of the football team. So I'm also a member of the basketball team, so we're getting that started now, hopefully to follow in the footsteps of the football team. That's good. Hopefully I'll be a captain this year. We haven't decided that yet, but we'll see. I'm also a member of the Boys and Girls Club Keystone Club, so we do a lot of, we work a lot with the younger kids throughout Mashpee, kind of teach them sports, teach them activities that they can do rather than just sit at home, play video games, do that type of thing. We also work as role models, and we do a lot of work with the Special Olympics, so we go up to Worcester, just a bunch of different big cities that we all meet at, and do that type of stuff.
What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm looking to go into business administration, and I've applied to 8 different schools. I don't know if you guys want to hear all of them, but my top 4 definitely: University of Miami, Roger Williams University, Florida Atlantic University, and probably Coastal Carolina.
So they're a very humble group. What I'd like them to talk about next, did you see how quickly they went through it? What I'd like them to talk about next is actually their senior seminar project or school to career internship that some of them will be involved in. Every senior every year either has to, it's a graduation requirement, be in senior seminar, which allows you to have a culminating project at the end. In March, we have an exhibition night. I don't know if any of you have attended. It's a wonderful night to come through our cafeteria and see all the seniors and their different projects. Many of the projects are based on things that they're just passionate about, or it could be something that they want to raise money for, or it could be simply an interest. They want to take apart a computer and put it back together again. We also have School to Career if a student doesn't opt for senior seminar, and School to Career allows the students to shadow 3 different internship placements, and then in the spring of their senior year, complete a 130-hour internship. So some of the students are involved in School to Career, so I'd like you all to, if you could just let them know what you're doing next, if you're in School to Career or Senior Sem, and let them know about your project.
Alright, so I'm actually in senior seminar, and what I'm looking to do my project on is really the importance of sports and other activities in inner city or kids at a disadvantage with that. So
Yeah. So I'm in School of Career, and I'm pursuing a internship with the Mashpee Police Department. I'm really interested in that stuff because my brother is actively pursuing to be a state policeman. He's at Mass Maritime right now. My dad is a state policeman, and so is my grandfather, so I'm exploring that field because that could always be a possibility in the future. So I'm excited to learn what they do every day and kind of be a part of the community with that internship. So I think that's it.
So in the beginning of this year, I elected to participate with teaching a CCD class at my church, St. Anthony's in Falmouth. So I was hoping to focus my senior project based on the kids there and what I've learned from them, as well as the general decrease in religion and the aspect it has on society.
So I'm in senior seminar, and though my main focus is the arts and being on stage, you would probably expect that that would be my project, but I also have a passion for geography and mapping and humanitarian efforts and human rights. So my project is an open street mapping mapathon. So open street mapping is basically a program that was created in 2004, and it's a community map. So anyone from around the world can go on the internet and download satellite images of areas around the world, and they can contribute to the open street map from their very own homes or libraries or Starbucks or wherever else. And this is basically to help regions where there are refugee camps, such as in northern Uganda, or places that have been ravaged by natural disasters, such as Puerto Rico, and where Google Maps only updates every few years. So when a natural disaster strikes, there's no real way for humanitarian teams to go in and know where the problem is and know where to go to find health centers. The OpenStreetMap is updating constantly, so humanitarian teams can go in. They can see from the OpenStreetMap, this is where the nearest safe locations are that we can bring people. So an OpenStreetMapping mapathon is basically where you get a large number of people to all come together in the same place. We have a party, we all open up our computers, and we map an area in need, a humanitarian mapping project, if you will. So that's what I'm planning to do probably in the spring and early April, the end of March, to have this humanitarian mapathon, and I'm thinking of a focus of inviting different artists from around Cape Cod to do this because I believe that the arts can have a huge impact on the world in positive ways, and I'd love to see artists helping the world in this way. So that's my project.
So as I mentioned before, my project is working with like the GSA and kind of just bring like advocacy to the topic, because I've just always found I've never really been nervous about public speaking, and I've always felt like I stand up for people, so I want to like use that to kind of help out a group that often doesn't have a voice and use my voice to help them. So for my senior project, the first part of it, I just started designing like a poster that could be put up on all like the classroom doors, just kind of saying like this is a safe space for everyone and anyone. So that's pretty much all set. And then the next step in my project is like getting those up. And I want to create a health lesson for, I think probably the freshmen. And so the incoming freshmen would get like a health lesson about kind of like different things going on in the LGBTQ plus community.
So I'm in senior seminar, and my senior project is starting a math honor society with my math teacher, Mrs. Brody. It's going to be, well, we have, at Mashpee High School right now, we have the National Honor Society, which is kind of just for general, and then we have the National Technical Honor Society, we have a Music Honor Society, and now we have a Math Honor Society. So people just started applying now, and then they're going to release the letters soon saying who got in. And it's basically just based on scholarship and appreciation for the subject. And later in the year, we're going to hopefully go down to the Young Peers, to the Quashnet School and maybe the Casey Coombs School, and kind of like instill that importance of like why math is important, why they should be excited to learn about it, because it really does make a difference. And I love math. It's had a huge positive impact in my life. And so I would just want to give that to other people with my senior project.
Since I was young, my mom has always told me to make sure I have a passion for what I want to do and just make sure I enjoy it. So I am enrolled in the School to Career program at Mashpee High, as well as Ben. So I will be pursuing an internship with Mashpee's fire and paramedics. As I mentioned before, I want to become a trauma nurse. So there I just really want to get a feel for the field, really just experience new things, make sure that's really what I want to do and what I'm passionate about. I know a lot of people aren't really good with handling with that kind of stuff, trauma, so I just really want to make sure that's what I want to do.
So I'm in senior seminar, and so since I was young, my mom works at the Life community in Mashpee, so that's with young adults with special needs. So when I was going into freshman year, my ballet teacher, she works for Riverview, and so she does an adaptive dance program called Dance Heroes. So Miss Ket, last year, she was like, oh, like, why don't you just make that your senior project? Like, that's such a great thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I didn't even think of that. So I've made that into my senior project. So I'm going to do a performance later in the year with them. So I'll do all the choreography and things for that. So that will be a lot of fun. And so I've been doing, like, research right now. And I never thought that, like, nursing or, like, the medical field had any, like, association with special needs, like especially adaptive dance programs, but I've found out a lot about how nursing and especially like physical therapy are connected to adaptive dance programs, so it kind of is like all working out because I want to become a nurse. So.
I am in senior seminar, and for my senior project, I actually got inspiration from a TV show that I used to watch. It was called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it, but it's basically this high school student who, through a series of TV episodes, goes through the high school and shares his high school experiences, and kind of in a journal that doesn't actually exist, writes down tips for people at that high school. So for my senior project, I am making a survival guide to Mashpee Middle High School. And originally, I was going to write it all down in a journal, but I thought to make it more accessible to students, I'm going to make a Google site. So on that Google site, I'm going to take everything from my experiences, my peers' experiences, faculty, Miss Ket especially, because she works with all the students. And I'm just going to give students academic advice, like when to study, how to manage their time correctly, and social advice, like what to do if you're being bullied or what to do if you have peer pressure in your life. Because my experience at Mashpee High School has been so positive, I just want to give that back to future students. I want them to have just as good an experience that I did. So that's the purpose of my senior project.
For my senior project this year, I'm going to be running and organizing the Cape Cod Makers Fair, which is hosted here at Mashpee High School. So basically, it's a place or a time where it's actually going to be in April, where people from all over Cape Cod that can share their technology, their arts, their designs, and show it off to the community. And basically, for my project, I'm just going to be organizing, setting a date for it, getting everyone there, raising money for the event, and making sure everything goes smoothly this year.
So you can see why we get so excited at the school. The students just bring so much energy. they're kind, they're compassionate. There really are a lot of benefits to being in a 7 through 12 building. Number one, the mentorship that they have with the younger students, but also just the ability as us faculty to get to know them for 6 years. So we've known them since they've been 12. And now look at, they're going to go conquer the world, right? I mean, come on. So it's what, I mean, to hear someone say I love math is just like, it makes me want to cry. What I'm going to do right now is open it up to question and answers. We could get into some things about who inspired you or who's your favorite teacher or things like that. But really we want the questions to come from you and what you are interested in asking the students. So that's a nice little foundation. They're representative of so many different avenues at the high school. And I think what Brooke brought up is really important about making high school great. And at Mashpee, there are a lot of opportunities. And it's about grabbing onto it. Once you're given that opportunity, grabbing hold of it and going with it. So it's about raising our students' awareness to the opportunities that are there, encouraging them, providing them support, and getting them to where they need to be. Hopefully at the luncheon, you'll talk more about what schools, even if it's a list of 10, where they actually applied to. Because there's wonderful schools throughout the nation that our students have applied to, and we're really proud of them. I mean, this guy's super humble because he was a quarterback, and he just says he plays on the team. So that's good. You need the leader. So that's why questions, you got to dig a little deeper with them, because I don't know if they'll tell you unless you really ask them. So we can open up to Q&A at this time. Do you want the mic to go around as well? Okay. Great. Does anyone have a question for the students?
I've heard a lot of great things. Who was the robotics person?
Oh, that was
Okay,
me.
can you tell us a little bit about the robotics competition?
Of course. All right. So it changes yearly. Thank you. It changes yearly, and it's based off of a program and like a whole kit that you get called Vex Robotics. So we were competing in the EDR competition last year, which was labeled Starstruck. So you're in kind of like a pit with PVC pipe walls. Along the edges of the walls, they have these foam stars. So you were to design a robot that was supposed to be able to pick up the stars and launch them onto the opponent's side of the field. And at the end of the timed period, if you had more stars on your field, then you would get those points taken away from you. So your goal was to launch them over to the opponent's side of the field. With the actual robotics though, I built it with my partner last year, Tony. He was a senior last year, that was his senior project. So together we built the robot ourselves, and like he taught me how to program it. So this year I'm kind of taking that on myself as well with another group. It's really exciting because I think we have an even better shot this year to make it further than we did past regionals. We also have a great mentor this year in Mr. Ware, who's a freshman who I'm also working with his father. He works at Hui. So he's an engineer, and he's just a great help with us, you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
I can't keep quiet.
There you are, Mr. Nelson. Got it. Yeah, you can stay seated.
Now you know why we think this is one of the best things we do. It's so exciting. I can remember I had the same teacher in the 6th grade that my mother had. The best thing I did, because I was good in class, was go outside and clap the erasers. Really. When you go over to the school and you see the teachers smile at the kids and the kids smile back, they know their names. That's so exciting. You can't believe it. And that rubs off on all of us. I know with the men's club, we've been sponsor of this. I've been involved in it. I've been involved in the Boys and Girls Club, and it's so good just to have somebody. The world is not in that bad a place if we've got kids like you to help out.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I would just like to salute two groups. One of them is Lindsay Kett and this wonderful group of 10 high fives. Each year that we do this, we say it couldn't get any better. And then what happens? It does. And so we thank you for sharing your story so articulately. And best of luck to you. That's the first group. Would you join me? Second group is this incredible Falcons football team. Super Bowl champions, 3 years in a row. They're calling it three-peats. And we have a cheer for the football team.
Any more questions for the students? Yes.
My question is more of a general one, and I don't know to whom to direct it, maybe to the quarterback of the team. I'd like to hear about the AP classes that you've all taken.
So the AP classes that I've taken throughout my years at Mashpee High School. Freshman year I started off with AP Human Geography, which was a good class. Got me really experienced in what an AP class is like, how the work or what kind of work goes into each class. And then last year I took AP Environmental Science, which actually I was really interested in, learning a lot about the ecology of Cape Cod. And then this year I'm in actually a load of AP classes. I have AP Physics, AP Literature, and AP Statistics. I loaded up this year because I want to go into engineering, and especially AP Physics was a big one for me to take. It definitely takes a lot of work, but once you put the work in, it has good outcomes, possibly saving money for the future in college. The 2 AP tests I've already taken I've passed, so that could help reduce my classes and tuition in college for the future.
And your dual enrollment.
Oh
at
yeah,
Mass Maritime.
I've also took a dual enrollment class at Mass Maritime my sophomore year. It was an English class, and I passed that as well. So that's one less English class I'll have to take in college.
So I personally have been enrolled in 9 AP classes throughout my high school year. 4 of them are this year. I like it. I find it to be very building of character and work ethic. I mean, yes, I've given a lot of money to College Board, but that's besides the fact. It'll certainly pay off, trust me. But yeah, I think the teachers really push us, and they work with us. And I like AP classes because they're smaller. You get that one-on-one teacher attention. Really, I just find it to be very, very positive. So.
So I've taken 6 APs. So I took AP Human Geography, AP Language and Composition, and then this year I take AP Physics, AP Calculus, AP Bio and Biology, and then AP Literature. And so I wasn't enrolled in AP Physics this year, but then I had gone to UConn last year, and I was like, oh, I don't really like this school, like, I don't think it's for me. And their nursing majors require physics, so I was like, oh, okay, like, I don't have to do that. So then my mom had me go back this fall, and I, like, fell in love with it, and I was like, oh, I love this school. So that next Monday, I went to Miss Kett, and I was like, so, like, I have to get into physics, like, what can I do for this? And she was like, well, you have, like, 2 choices. You can take AP Physics or, like, Intro to Physics. So I was like, oh, okay. So I got into AP Physics, and I, like, caught up on all the work, and I actually am not doing too bad, so maybe I'll end up at UConn.
So throughout my high school career at Mashpee, I was always just a little timid to enroll in AP classes. So I was really I just went with the honors classes, but this year I decided to take a challenge, and I am now enrolled in AP Statistics and AP Biology. In those classes, I feel like they're really just going to prepare me for my college career. It's really just a challenge. As Brooke said, the small classes are such an advantage. You just really do get that one-on-one attention with the teachers, as well as she said. I just think the AP classes are something that everybody should challenge themselves with, and it's just such a great opportunity at Mashpee, and it just really prepares you for college.
I've taken 9 AP classes over the course of my high school career, so I'm taking 4 this year. Taking AP Calculus, AP Chemistry, AP Physics 2, and AP Literature. And I've really enjoyed taking AP classes. I mean, you kind of have to in order to put yourself through them because it's a lot of work on your own. Teachers assign homework, but you have to have the initiative inside yourself to do all the extra work and all the extra studying. the tests are a lot harder, but because they're trying to prepare you for the big test at the end of the year. And I've been fortunate enough to pass on my AP tests. Hopefully that continues as I move into the end of this year. But yeah, they are such a great opportunity to utilize, because if you do pass them, at a lot of schools you are able to take off credit to get credit for those classes, and so it ends up saving you money in the long run.
So I started my AP career in AP Human Geography, and then my sophomore year I took AP Bio and pre-AP US. So our AP US class, it's 2 parts. So you take the first half of the year, well, the first year and your sophomore year, you kind of go through like half the textbook, and the second year, so your junior year, you finish off the textbook. So AP US History, I really did learn that I do love history. And AP Bio, I learned I love science, but I'm not too good at it, so we're staying to history. And then my junior year, I also took AP Language and Composition, and then this year I'm taking AP Language.
So like Brooke and Megan, I'll graduate with 9 AP exams under my belt, as well as 1 dual enrollment class. So I also started my AP career with our freshman year AP class, which is AP Human Geography. This class, Human Geography, is kind of a weird name, but it focuses a lot on different issues throughout the world involving political borders, agriculture, population, migration, cartography, industrialization, urbanization, and this class really inspired my love for human rights and humanitarian efforts, and actually I loved it so much that I'm back this year as a mentor for the freshmen that are taking the class this year. So Mrs. Reynolds and I, the teacher of that class, I think she was at this event last year. We've worked together a lot on that, so I love that class. Sophomore year, I took AP Music Theory, which has, I feel like will probably help me with my career more than any other AP class, which I feel like is kind of a weird thing to say, but music theory will be very important to me. Last year, junior year, I took AP Calculus, AP Physics 1, AP US History, and AP Literature. And then this year, I'm enrolled in AP European History, and I'm also taking 2 AP exams for classes that we don't offer at Mashpee High School. I'm taking AP German Language because I was born in Germany and I speak German, so I figure I might as well take the AP exam. And I'm also taking AP Calculus 2 because since I took AP Calculus last year. And I'm also dually enrolled. I'm about to finish. I'm turning in my final paper this week at 4 Cs in an English composition class there.
So I think most of us actually had AP Human Geography, if not together in another class, but that's also where I started. And then sophomore year, I took AP Bio and pre-AP US 1. Junior year, I took AP US 2, and then I also took AP English Language and Composition and AP Physics 1. And this year I am taking AP Physics 2, AP Statistics, and I'm sorry, I can't get the other one right now. Yes, AP Calculus. So as you can see, I'm kind of trying to focus my AP courses based on science and mathematics, because that's where I think I'm very strong and can find a career in when I'm older.
So I started out freshman year, took AP Human Geography, like just about everybody else. And then I didn't take anything sophomore year. And then junior year, I took AP Environmental, and I really like that, and because that ties into like an engineering, kind of like an engineering field, like the environmental engineering aspects, because like people build bridges, dams, and like what impacts do they have on fisheries, things like that. So that was really important to me. And then this year, I took AP Statistics and AP Physics, because statistics can again tie into environmental fields with like fishery stocks, which I'm really interested in, and populations of animals and all those things. So, and then the physics obviously ties into the actual engineering part. So I've tried to apply my AP classes to like real life applications in the future for careers. So.
Well, I think everyone did a really good job just explaining that for the most part. This year, I'm currently enrolled in AP Environmental Science, and I've heard all great things about it so far. It's been a great experience. really, for the most part, it's just a great opportunity to have here at Mashpee High School. All the AP courses, all the teachers that are helping us, it's really just preparing us for college, and I think it's just great to have.
All right, any further questions? Oh, we have one right, a couple back here.
Just sort of piggybacking on that, I don't even remember how many years I was an AP coordinator, and I'm very much aware of how much time and effort your teachers have to put in to teach you, though. I mean, it is a lot of work, there's no questioning. I'm not doubting that in the least, but I think you are indeed fortunate to have so many teachers that are so willing to participate in this program and stimulate you and mentor you in such a way. And I think our high school is something that's rather special, and you are much blessed by that.
It's rather obvious in hearing what you have to say that you're all very high achievers, and that the town of Mashpee, and particularly Mashpee High School, has provided quite a bit to you, and you've taken very good advantage of it. With your future scholastic aspirations and your career choices, be they in mathematics or medical or theater arts or engineering, what have you, environmental sciences, do you plan on bringing any of that back to the town of Mashpee?
Anybody? Who's coming back? And then you pass it right down.
So, theater arts, it's something that can be brought anywhere, but I've already been involved in community theater on Cape Cod since the 4th grade. That's where I started in theater. So I feel like, just keeping the talent within the school, it's great, but I think, providing it to the community in places like the Fountain Theater Guild, the Catuit Center for the Arts, that's really important as well. So theater, the possibilities are limitless. There's no limit to how great your success can become. So I hope to come back and, do a cabaret concert. Or I think that entertaining people is something that, can happen anywhere. And especially in this age, a lot of people have said to me in the past, an artist, can't you use, your talents or academics for something else, for something more worthwhile that'll make you more money? But I have to strongly disagree all the time when people say that to me, because I think it's a very, very worthwhile career, and especially in this digital age where there are things like Netflix and Hulu and online movies and YouTube, where you can be pretty much exporting entertainment all the time through every device. We could probably watch 50 movies in this room right now if we fired up every movie making device, movie showing device. So I think that that a talent like this, it'll come back in various ways for all time.
I would love to come back to Mashpee, to be honest. I'm definitely not a city girl. I don't want to be in a city. I'd love to stay in a small town. And I don't know, I've always, even though I know I'm not starting out as a teacher, I always feel like I might end up as a teacher. And actually my psychology teacher this year, Mr. O'Donnell, he majored in anthropology, and he ended up being a psychology teacher, so I could easily see myself going down a line like that. So I hope I could end up as a teacher back here.
So as an engineer, it's kind of unsure. There's probably a good possibility that I would probably end up working in a city, but in many ways small towns do need engineers as well. The Mashpee HOSA Club just took a tour of the Falmouth Hospital, and one of the really big things that they said on the tour was that they need biomedical engineers, because one of the jobs that they do is they purchase the medical equipment for hospitals, and they inspect it, and they make sure that it's up to par. And so if that became an option for me in the future, I would definitely love to take it and come back to the community.
So wherever I go, whatever I do, something that is very important to me is keeping my tribal heritage within me. So I actually wrote my college essay on pursuing my career in nursing and possibly coming back to my tribal community to just provide my health services and knowledge that I've learned. That is definitely something I would look to do. I have mentioned that I want to become a trauma nurse, but it's just always been in the back of my mind to just come back and provide services for the tribal community. Women in the tribal community really just, it's kind of like a stereotype to just stay home and just provide for their family. But I want to like branch off from that and go and learn something and come back to my tribal community. So.
So as I said, I want to pursue nursing, and like my dream place to work would be Children's Hospital in Boston, because I used to go there when I was little. But I actually did an internship with Ben's mom, who works at Cape Cod Hospital, and I could definitely see myself like coming back here because my grandma used to work as a nurse here, so that would be pretty
cool. So with environmental studies, the whole topic of your study is sustainability. So even though I plan to be a lawyer, it doesn't mean that I don't come back here. I mean, we can start small. I mean, college campuses all the time have sustainability projects on their campus. Who says that I can't come back to Mashpee High School and do that too? I think it would actually be better to start small. We only have a limited amount of resources here on this earth, and even on Cape Cod, so maybe I'll come back and focus on sustainability here.
Alright, like I said before, my goal is to become a civil engineer. Usually engineers work somewhere in the city. If that does end up happening, I find a job somewhere else, not in Mashpee, I'd love to come back to the community or the high school and share my experiences and to educate other students who are interested in engineering and give them like a full experience of my experiences and see if that's still something they want to do. That's what I'd like
All right, so I'm pursuing a career in obviously environmental engineering, and the huge environmental aspect ties in to Cape Cod very easily. Like all around, they do cuts for like New England cottontails to save species. You obviously need engineers to figure out what they're going to do for the project, how much foliage they're going to cut, things like that. And obviously striped bass too, a huge part of Cape Cod, huge part of our fisheries, bringing tourism, things like that. So there's debates going on right now. Should we end the commercial fisheries or should we keep them going, or how can we make them more sustainable? And obviously Cape Cod too, we have erosion issues, which ties into engineering pretty well because I mean, one day Cape Cod won't be here anymore, but we try to prolong erosion and things like that as long as we can. So like the impact of seawalls, jetties, groins, all that stuff on Cape Cod can have huge impacts on everyday lives of the community, so that we don't really know it. So I'm looking to maybe be an environmental engineer and come back and help out the community.
Alright, so I came into Mashpee High School not knowing exactly what I wanted to do. I was thinking maybe I'll be a police officer, I'll figure it out in college. Until I took my first business class in marketing and entrepreneurship. And at first I was thinking, well, this doesn't seem like something I'd do. I haven't been really involved or really been thinking about business at all. But teachers at Mashpee High School really just shifted my mind. And it really exposed me to a new experience that I never saw before in business. So I think that was definitely a huge part of my experience here at Mashpee High School. And I think if I can come back and I can help any other student, just one other student, with that new experience that I got here at Mashpee High School, I think that would be all worth it. So.
Although one of my biggest goals in life would be to work for Boston Dynamics, which is obviously in Boston, it's a robotics company, and they're working on all sorts of crazy robots that can do all sorts of amazing tasks. But I guess my goal also would be to come back eventually after, I don't know, retirement or possibly to settle down with a family, because I just love Mashpee so much as a town, and I really think it's one of the best places in the world to actually raise a family. And I would also love to one day eventually join a club like this where you guys come and give back to the community. And I think that's truly what I think the question was asking, is that if I were able to get the benefits that I do from my job, that would I come back like you all are and giving back to the community as you guys give back so much to us. Thank you.
We have one more here, Mr. Nelson.
Could we hear, now we've got super kids, can we hear from the super leadership, like the superintendent
Absolutely.
and the principal? Because they made it work.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Come on up,
First of all, I want to thank you all for welcoming us here. This is my third year, I think, of participating. I don't want to stand in front of the kids. And it is truly a highlight. But every day, these children are gifts. And we have a whole school full of gifts. But every single day, they sort of enrich my world. When I listen to all that they accomplish, I'm half of my days I must be slacking because I don't do nearly what they are able to accomplish. And they are really role models. They share themselves with our younger students. And their sharing with you today is sort of a way for us to say thank you, because you are a wealth of experience in your jobs, in your professions, in your education, and your willingness to really want to embrace our school system and make Mashpee even better is something we really value. And so us coming here, and anytime you want to come to the schools, you don't have to come as a big group, you can come individually, but I just want to express my gratitude for everything that you do, for opening your hearts and your support for all of our students and for our school system. We really appreciate it. We can't do this. I always talk about Mashpee as a connected community, and it's really important for me that we continue to sort of build our partnerships and generate this positive support for each other, because we can do things for you and you do things for us. So, and I want to thank these amazing students for the joy they bring to me every single day. They are amazing. So, and I also want to acknowledge Ms. Kat. She is truly an amazing and inspiring leader in our district. So thank you, Ms. Kat.
Thank you so much.
So maybe Mr. Bowser.
I wasn't going to take my jacket off today. So again, the 10 students here today, they really make my job easy. They make it so rewarding each and every day. And they talk about all of their accomplishments, and these kids have done far more than you've heard today. What they've really done is change the entire culture of our school. Over the past three or 4 years, this particular group has made all of the academic gains. They've made the social gains, and they've made our school a place where kids feel safe, comfortable, and they're treated very, very well. And one of the great things is, in addition to what they do every day academically and in their own personal lives, these kids do so much for each other. The kindness that they show to one another, they take care of each other, from mentoring to supporting. It's really quite a sight to see. And to go to work every day and be the leader of the school, they help me make the right decisions. They help me make decisions that are focused on their well-being and improvement. And they're just a tremendous group of young people. And we have no doubt that they're going to be tremendously successful, regardless of whatever endeavor they choose. They're all going to different fields. And I'm excited to welcome them back in a year or two to Alumni Day and have to hear the stories that they're going to be able to share and continuing to grow. So really, just to close out here, a couple of 3 things stand out to me and that are needed for a school to run smoothly. Number one, it's the kids. We don't have a lot of problems at our school. Our kids, they make the right decisions, they do the right thing, they treat each other well, and they have high aspirations for themselves and their peers. So one is the students. The second is our faculty. We have tremendous educators, people that put a lot of their time, not just during the school day, but in addition to on weekends, on vacations, to provide tremendous opportunities. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, is the support of our local community. We talk about how it's always great to be in Mashpee. It's great to be in Mashpee because of the support that you provide. The resources our students have would not exist without your support through this club and through a number of other organizations locally. So those 3 things are necessary for a school to be successful, and we have them present, and we're continuing to grow and evolve and get better and better each and every day. And on behalf of the superintendent, to mimic her a little bit and echo her, we can't thank you enough for all you do. And we're excited for our continuing to grow our relationships with the local community and provide the best opportunity for our students. So I thank you very, very much. And lastly, to Mrs. Kett, without Mrs. Kett, our school does not run. I'll be very, very honest with you. She's really the brains behind it. I just speak. But she's phenomenal, and every one of these students, and I will attest that every student that's ever walked the halls of Mashpee and graduated and met with Mrs. Kett will have nothing but the highest praise for her, not as a counselor, but more as a person, and how she takes an interest in every student's individual lives, their personal lives, and she helps them get through and provides them the best supports possible, and making after opportunities like this available to us. I can't thank you enough, Mrs. Kett. So I appreciate everything.
Finally, I just wanted to bring up about tonight. If you haven't had enough of us already, tonight we have our annual Program of Studies night, and we've moved it earlier from February to December so it can include our arts and music night. So from 5 to 6, right in the cafeteria, there'll be music playing. You'll see some of the students from here, Celia and Meghan. Anybody else playing tonight? They'll be playing in the band. There'll be artwork. There'll be things that you could purchase for gifts if you wanted to. And then there's a kind of open house feel to the building. The science labs will be having active interactive labs going on. The career and technical education pathway will be having a number of interactive events with the 3D printer and different things that they have down there, and also math, history, and world language and English. So it's a great night. It's very welcoming if you'd want to see our school and come see what it's all about and see the students and have it be interactive. One last plug. We have a new Falcons Annex down in the Mashpee Commons. If you're at all interested in buying Mashpee gear for holiday gifts, it opened up, so it's wonderful. And the people behind it are actually the students who design in the marketing class, and also the School to Career program, who are helping out run the store and design what goes in there. So the Commons have allowed us to have a spot for the next 3 weeks. So if you're at the holiday parade this weekend, check it out. The students will be in there playing music. There'll be a lot going on. It's just like a separate annex. We're calling it the Falcon's Nest Annex. Thank you so much for having us today. It is wonderful. And actually, I work with them every day, but sometimes when they get up here and speak, I think, oh my God, I forgot they did that. I can't believe it. I honestly, truly feel like they have at least 30 hours in their day, and we only have 24. I mean, they get so much done. It's amazing. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Here's the final question or comments. All right, thank you.
It just gets better every year. It just gets better. First message, as a retired educator, you said every child has a gift. Thank goodness your group lets those gifts come forward. Thank God you provide the environment for those gifts to be brought forth. Message to you all. I always thought of 3 words in education that really meant something to me. And one was excellence. You personify that. You personify that. And at your own levels. Keep that going. Okay? Number 2, the second one, was excitement. You exude excitement for what you're doing. And lastly, the third word is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is needed. You've got the enthusiasm. That will carry you great things. You're leaving a terrific environment in June. And you're moving into new environments. And you're going to meet challenges. Challenges you may not have met before because of the size of the school you go to or whatever. Social interactions. But keep one thing in mind as I listen to each one of you. You have a star that you're aiming for, like a compass, okay? Follow your star. Follow that star. It gets bounced back, but keep going to it. And you will carry those 3 E's with you as you go forward. I thank you all. We thank you all.
Thank you.